Hello and happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. I'm Milagros, and this is a little space I like to carve out to help share tips, tools, technique, nuggets, stories, anecdotes, all the things in order to help us move the needle, even if it's 1 degree at a time, to healthier and happier, whatever that means for us at this time in our lives. During this month right now, we are talking about love, first and foremost here, the love that needs to reside from this connection, all up in this connection, in order for us to give from that place so that we're giving from our overflow and not from a place of depletion. That way we don't end up resenting the people, places, jobs, and opportunities that come along in our lives because we are not depleted, and it doesn't feel like they're just taking. They go and take. But if we take care of this first, we can, one, set boundaries for their taking, and two, have extra to give, right? This week, as we wrap up the month, I want to talk about body love and aging. We tend to avoid, at least in this country, the United States, talking about aging in a way that it's beautiful and it's graceful. Instead, we talk about it like we're trying to avoid it, like it is the plague, and we'll get poked and prodded and pulled in order to avoid aging. No judgment if you are being poked and prodded and pulled, or if you plan on being poked and prodded and pulled. What I'm saying is that I would love it if you made those decisions from a place of love rather than from a place of loathing, honoring the aging. Right? And I grew up hearing my grandfather talk about how aging is a gift, because not 20, 30, 50 years ago, people didn't live as long as they do now, right? And depending on where your elders are from, they might have had lack of connection to resources or access to resources and healthy foods and medical supplies that create longevity in life that we have now that they did not have then. So it was truly considered a gift and a privilege to age. And personally speaking, I don't want to be 70 and look like I'm 20. I don't want my 20-year-old face when I'm 70. I feel like that's weird, right? I went to get my chin, I went to an appointment to get my chin lasered. This was a couple years ago. This is not where I go now, because that didn't even work. The woman didn't even recognize that if you have a slight tinge of darkness to your skin or any kind of color to your skin, that you needed a whole different type of laser. And she didn't know what she didn't know, and neither did I, right? So none of that worked. I'm at a different place now with this beautiful woman of color, and she's like magical, and she's taking care of me. But back then, when I went, and Botox was like a new thing, this was a couple of years pre-pandemic, I went in and I have these small creases here on my face. And the woman's like, oh, after we take care of your chin, if you want, I could send you over to so-and-so to take care of those creases in your face. I'm like, what about the creases in my face? And she's like, don't you want to take care of those so that they don't show? No. Do you know what kind of life I had? I want there to be laugh lines on my face. I live in so much joy now that I want there to be evidence of my joy, right? So I just think it's really interesting that was her automatic go-to statement. Not, hey, have you ever thought about, or she didn't even question me. She was like, we got somebody who can take care of those. No, I want them. Leave my face alone. I like my face. I love my face, right? And we're like afraid of aging in this country. So we got to talk about it. This is our body, this amazing vessel that we have been given in order to come and participate in life. No matter which way you look at it, if you're an atheist, if you practice a certain religion, if you're spiritual, this body is the vessel by which we live this life. It's how we play, it's how we interact, it's how we move through the world, right? It's how we create, it's how we love, it's how we eat, it's how we connect. This body is this amazing vessel that helps us have all these interactions and exchanges in the world that we live in. And when we take care of our body with our thoughts, words, and actions, it is usually better able to play and move and interact and be, right? And it's less likely to get sick or to get to have to deal with a temporary physical ailment, if you will. I don't like to say I get sick because I read many years ago this Chinese proverb that says, you are not sick if you're capable of healing. Healthy bodies can heal when they're dealing with temporary physical ailments. And I was like, yo, I'm going to call it a temporary physical ailment from now on because that feels softer and more loving. And I'm calling it a temporary physical ailment. It's just my body giving me this information that something is off, there's an ailing happening, and I need to provide it with whatever resources or support it needs in order for that to temporarily pass, right? It's a whole different, again, mindset is everything, y'all. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the importance of just accepting and appreciating our bodies. If you are in a place where you do not accept and appreciate your body, you cannot quantum leap to a place where all of a sudden you're going to just love your body overnight. That's not how it works. We have to create a bridge. And the way we create the bridge is through basic and general practices of gratitude and appreciation, which we talked about the first week of the month, right? So you can go back there and listen to that first video talking about gratitude and appreciation. And what I mean is, you stand in front of the mirror and you start either from your toes and work your way up, or you start from your head and you work your way down, and you just think about the parts of your body and why you appreciate the fact that they're present. I'm thankful for my eyes because they allow me to see. I'm thankful for my ears because they allow me to hear fun music. I'm thankful for my mouth because it allows me to give my baby a kiss. It allows me to taste delicious food. And where else would I put my chapstick, right? Because I'm obsessed with chapstick. Like, working your way down in this kind of light and easy space of appreciation. What are the things that you appreciate? Just what is the body part? What do you appreciate about it? Why do you appreciate it? Because eventually, through a practice of gratitude and appreciation for your body, you start to recognize that it is kind of amazing and it's been keeping you alive this whole time, and it's functioning at its highest capacity depending on whatever ailments it might be dealing with and in collaboration with how it is being treated, right? And so the better you take care of it, thoughts, words, and actions, the better it's able to take care of you. So let's start there. What are the thoughts that are holding you back about your body, and how can you flip those? Well, you flip them with this gratitude appreciation practice for your body, showing your body some love. I have the honor of working in a gym where I see all types of bodies, all shapes, all sizes, heights, widths, lengths, right? Some bodies turn sideways and it looks like they're invisible. Some bodies turn sideways and there's mountainscapes. Some, right? Like all kinds of bodies. And I'm so thankful because I really do think that the human body is this beautiful, amazing thing, and that we get to, again, play in and explore the world through, especially like skin and touch, right? For me personally, it is important for me to make sure that I'm working out and I keep my body strong, because if not, I will not be mobile. Like, my mobility is on the line and I am not willing to sacrifice my mobility. So I am willing to make that a priority, which means there are other things in my life that I also make a priority. And sacrifice and priority, we'll talk about that another time, right? But I recognize that if I want my body to be strong, I have to do different practices. I have to take different actions. And in order for me to take those actions, I had to change the words that I was saying. And in order for me to change those words, I had to start with my thoughts. And that's where I started, just with a full-on body appreciation. And then I would say, I deserve to take care of my body, or I can take care of my body in a different way. 5 minutes a day, I'm going to sit and meditate and just kind of honor my body. Or 10 minutes a day, I'm going to go for a walk and I'm going to move my body because it wants and craves movement. I'm going to eat one less dessert per day and add one extra serving of veggies. I'm going to just one thing. But I highly recommend that one thing that you begin with is appreciation. Appreciation for your body, practicing body love from that place, so that you can go from wherever you are today and eventually work your way to loving your body. And then when we love our bodies and we show up to take care of our bodies from that place, it's a whole different ball game, because like you recognize that I'm not making sacrifices. What I'm doing is prioritizing. If I loathe my body, then I feel like I'm sacrificing everything in order to get an aesthetically whatever, right? Exhausting. So I want you to think about that instead. How can I begin this practice? Or not how, because I told you how. when am I going to begin this practice? And then I do recommend that it's a practice that you do regularly. Once a week, twice a week, 3-4 times a week, whatever it is, right? If you do yoga twice a week, maybe you do this after you do yoga, or maybe you do this on your days off of yoga. And I also recommend that you use your technology to help support you, meaning make an appointment with yourself. Put it in your calendar and make it real. Because if you say, oh, I'll just do it, you know that's not going to happen. So put it in your calendar, make it real. Let that be an important thing for you, right? Commit to yourself and say, I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to do this practice for body love. And then honor the fact that you're getting older. I remember this woman many years ago, she said, aging is optional. You will get older chronologically. You have to, because every time you take another evolution around the sun, you're technically getting older. The planet's getting older, the trees are getting older, everything's getting older, but you don't have to age. Aging is optional. And I loved that. So I opted out of aging. I literally made, y'all know by now, if you don't, I'm going to tell you, I do rituals and practices of all sorts. I made myself a little form, and it was about aging, and then I checked the box that says opt out, and I signed it and dated it. That's real. It was only like 2 or 3 sentences, but I did it, and I made it official. And I opted out of aging, and I'm not going to let my age dictate how I move through and show up for my life. Not at all. And I'm grateful that I'm getting older, because it means that we're getting wiser. We're getting closer to being more aware of who we are and what we want from our lives. We're also getting better understanding that we know nothing. And we're always in a state of evolution and ebb and flow. So there's no like concrete thing all the time. You know, when people say like, oh, I'm just figuring it out. I'm like, yeah, aren't we all the time? All the time. And the older that I get, the more ease there is in that, and the less need for control in other spaces of my life. So there's so much deliciousness that comes with getting older, but aging is optional. And in terms of aging, I just want you to really come, if you're going to do pluck, pull, prod, fill, whatever, do it from a place of love, not from a place of loathing, because then if we operate from a place of loathing, the external stuff is never enough. It'll never get to a point where it's like, oh, now I'm done. It's enough. Because we're trying to fill a void that only this connection with our source and this connection with ourself can fill. Okay, so I hope that was beneficial. If you know someone who can benefit from it, please share it. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to my channel. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs down. Whatever works for you. If you have any questions about body love, because, we could talk about this for hours, but I'm trying to keep it to 15 minutes or less. If you have any questions or anything, let me know. What do you think about your body, and what do you think about this practice of a body appreciation to eventually lead you to a space where you love your body? All right, that's all I got for you. I'm sending you light and love, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace!